On Sunday, the Detroit Lions took on the Minnesota Vikings at Ford Field and had a chance to take first place in the NFC North, but had one of the worst performances in the Dan Campbell era. I'm here to give you my fully unbiased game analysis where I don't show any love nor hate towards any team. Just a warning, this game was pretty bad for Lions fans, but at least we're not the Packers. Lions first drive of the game, first play, nice pickup by Laporta. Second play, right back to him on the screen for another first down. I doubt Brian Flores was expecting a Laporta screen on the first drive of the game. 2nd and 4 and 3rd and 4, offensive line struggles start showing, and Goff is heavy under pressure, can't make the throw on the run. 4th and 4, Lions going for it. Goff to Laporta over the middle. Theo Jackson's the first one to him. Great stiff arm from Laporta. Then Harrison Smith joins in. Then Joshua Metellus. You got 3 guys trying to take down Laporta at the 1-yard line, while Raymond, then St. Brown slammed the pile forward for a Laporta touchdown. I know it ended up being a bad day, but that was a pretty sick, gritty, Iowa-bred touchdown by Laporta. After that, it would be all downhill for the Detroit Lions, beginning with a 61-yard kickoff return by Miles Price, and then Aaron Jones having all the room in the world to run. The defense would get one good defensive play out of Terrion Arnold, closed on Sundays. So far, yes. But then JJ would find JJ for the touchdown. Amik Robertson close in proximity, but not close in ball contention. Lions' second drive of the game, it's tied up 7-7. A first down run by David Montgomery picks up 2 yards. 2nd and 8. It's a screen to Gibbs off the motion after a fake to Montgomery. The Vikings are in zone, and Penei Sewell is unable to get the linebacker, Eric Wilson, who makes a great play, but it wouldn't have mattered. And that's where I have the first thought of, is that really the best offensive play call? Because when have you seen Gibbs in motion? The Vikings were not fooled. Afterwards, already 3rd and long, why not add on a false start? I don't know what the team was doing over Halloween weekend and the bye, but they were not prepared for this game. They were in shambles. 10 penalties. It was week 1 against the Packers all over again. And I can tell you they didn't convert that 3rd and 15 because on the season, Detroit is 0 for 21 on 3rd and 10 plus. And to make it worse, they're the only team in the NFL without a conversion. And it shows when this is the play John Morton selected to run on 3rd and 15. A screen to JMO after the screen to Gibbs. Sorry, I don't mean to get upset, but as an unbiased Lions fan, this game was pretty frustrating. JJ's second possession was the Aaron Jones show. Some good news for Lions fans, Hutch had a phenomenal game with that new contract, was putting McCarthy under pressure throughout. But sadly, JJ killed Detroit's secondary with his athleticism. You see the big catch by Addison for a huge gain there, and then found Hawkinson wide open on 1st and goal. Some concerning looks from Millette and Derek Barnes because Millette left him wide open. Goff's 3rd drive of the game, I think, really revealed how Brian Flores exposed John Morton's offense. Some concern for my boy Gibbs back there. Just on this drive, those are 3 big hits in the backfield he took. And I highlight that because under Ben Johnson's scheme, Gibbs was always there for a quick dump off whenever Goff was under pressure. And in this drive especially, plays were taking too long to develop and Goff was not able to make a throw on the run. Ended up getting sacked by Levi Drake Rodriguez and Eric Wilson. And I say exposed because Flores would disguise pressures and show fake blitzes, but still get successful rushes with only 4, or send extra bodies on the pass rush. And we know Goff isn't a consistent scrambler and can't make guys miss for a full 60 minutes. So nonetheless, there wasn't even a quick option for Goff to go to on most of these plays. Back to the game, beginning of the 2nd quarter, JJ with the ball would be brought down by Derek Barnes, and the Lions defense would force a 3 and out. Not sure what Kevin O'Connell was mad about on the sack. Starting their drive from the Vikings' 45-yard line, Goff would make an incredible play, dodging Jonathan Grenard's rush, getting the ball to David Montgomery, who would shake off Byron Murphy for a huge gain, and thankfully on 4th and 1, Montgomery would tie up the game. Vikings' next possession, somehow this was a hold on Hutchinson, and this was a hold on the Vikings, but resulted in a Detroit Lions sack. Now down by 3, this is where the worst streak began for the Lions. Javon Hargrave unblocked for negative yardage on 1st down, and then a throw right into Harrison Smith's face on 3rd down. And really everything in this game went wrong. This is roughing the passer on Campbell. It looks like he doesn't try to drive his force into him when he hits the ground, and it was close to him getting the ball off. And this was an interception for the Lions, but it was taken away because of holding on Amik Robertson. But it was hilarious to watch Aiden Hutchinson and JJ McCarthy going at it throughout the game. The Vikings would have a chance to extend their lead before halftime until Terrion Arnold would come away with his first NFL interception. An incredible play from Terrion Arnold to get the ball away from Naylor, and he kind of was close on Sunday. His first pick and only allowed 2 catches, and it was also super interesting that this close interception that had to get reviewed, who caught the ball, happened in the last Lions game too with Arthur Millette and Cade Otton. This would give the Lions a chance to do something before halftime, but of course they would blow it. Goff can't get the ball to wide open Calif Raymond. Another failed attempted screen, and then an all-out blitz from Brian Flores would force Goff to make a bad throw. And it just makes you think, what's wrong with the offense? Why are we calling a screen in this scenario? And that drive right there led to the crazy stat of the Lions having 18 turnovers and takeaways that have been converted only to 4 touchdowns. Coming out of halftime, some more simple mistakes from the Lions. Offsides on 3rd and 1, giving the Vikings a free first down. But the Lions defense played good in the second half. Branch making some big plays in this drive. I bet he's excited to be back after his extended bye. The Lions would get the ball back down 3 again, but their streak of bad drives would continue. St. Brown with a really bad drop, really similar to his drop against the Chiefs, and then Sewell would go down with an injury. And when you think it can't get any worse, an uncharacteristic fumble from David Montgomery right when he's about to convert a 3rd and long for the Lions, first in the season. He even fumbled the pitch, and it led to an easy JJ touchdown for a 10-point lead. 1st and 10, down by 10. Javon Hargrave would take down Goff, and then Taylor Decker would leave with an injury. But look here, when Goff is throwing it down the field, the Lions are actually getting somewhere. Another false start would set him back 5 yards, okay. And then they would go for another screen that has an illegal motion on it. I just don't understand. We get 2 plays down the field, one to JMO, one to St. Brown that are really good. Like here, Laporta down the field, JMO down the field. But then why are we going for these screens every play? JMO would then drop a ball, and then Eric Wilson on 3rd and 6. Detroit was then lucky that Miles Price's kickoff return didn't count due to a penalty. Following, Kelvin Shepherd's defense kept playing tough. Hutchinson with the huge sack on 3rd and 3. I saw some people online that were worried about Hutch's celebration. I definitely was reminded about the injury, but come on, guys. Hutch is bionic. And with the punt team coming out, Amik Robertson had some choice words for Jefferson. I wonder what he was saying. They remember each other when Amik Robertson locked him up last season. Detroit would get the ball into the red zone, down by 7. It's 4th and 5. And it's pretty funny that this was one of the most exciting plays of the game if you were a Lions fan. They would get the Vikings to jump off sides for the first down, but it would lead to a lot of bad. Mahogany would have a season-ending injury. A false start on 3rd and 9 would lead to a Redmond sack on 3rd and 14, and then Levi Drake Rodriguez would block Jake Bates' field goal attempt. Luckily, Jack Fox would have the saving tackle, but just a lot of bad from just those few plays. Flipping to the other end of the field, Terrion Arnold with a huge pass breakup on 2nd and goal against Jefferson. TA appreciators, such as myself, will definitely sleep good this week. And offensively, the best play of the game for the Lions. Goff to Jamison Williams on 3rd and 1 for the touchdown to cut the lead to 3. You know, that was the only deep ball that Goff threw all day. Sadly, it wouldn't be enough as they would target Arthur Millette. Naylor would catch the first down ball, and the Vikings would run out the clock. So the Lions lose 27-24 against the Vikings. They're now 5 and 3. My take is the same as Jamison Williams. A lot went bad. Pretty much everything went bad, especially offensively. And the Lions only lost by 3 points. And Kelvin Shepherd's crew is still kicking, playing hard defense. Only gave up 27 points, and 7 of them in the second half came from that easy turnover. Again, it is crazy that all these statistics came from this game. I do want to call it the Gibbs one. I know he allowed a lot of pressures, but Brian Flores has blitzed the most in the NFL over the last 2 seasons, and the Lions' offensive line wasn't doing anything. And for John Morton, I'm not coming for his head yet, but the game plan was bad. Way too many screens, not enough passes downfield. Why not have Goff roll out to the right and throw it deep, and if there's nobody open, he just throws it out of bounds? That's better than a negative yardage screenplay. But we saw when Goff was throwing it down the field, it was working. We just got to do that more. Looking at the remaining schedule, I'm a little worried about getting first place in the NFC North, but not playoff contention. I think the Lions are still a super strong unit. The bye week probably messed up a little bit of their momentum, and they haven't lost back-to-back games since 2023. I think they'll bounce back. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching. Offensively, and the Lions only lost by 3 points. And Kelvin Shepard's crew is still kicking, playing hard defense, only gave up 27 points, and 7 of them in the second half came from that easy turnover. Again, it is crazy that all these statistics came from this game. I do want to call out the Gibbs one. I know he allowed a lot of pressures, but Brian Flores has blitzed the most in the NFL over the last 2 seasons, and the Lions' offensive line wasn't doing anything. And for John Morton, I'm not coming for his head yet, but the game plan was bad. Way too many screens, not enough passes downfield. Why not have Goff roll out to the right and throw it deep, and if there's nobody open, he just throws it out of bounds? That's better than a negative yardage screenplay. But we saw when Goff was throwing it down the field, it was working. We just got to do that more. Looking at the remaining schedule, I'm a little worried about getting first place in the NFC North, but not playoff contention. I think the Lions are still a super strong unit. The bye week probably messed up a little bit of their momentum, and they haven't lost back-to-back games since 2023. I think they'll bounce back. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching.